So call the meeting to order. This is the organizational meeting of the Enfield Board of Education, Tuesday, November 16th, 2021, 7 p.m. And we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America. God bless you.
And we're going to have the national anthem and America the Beautiful sung by Emily Vandal.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Emily. That was beautiful. So now we're going to move to the oath of office for the newly elected board members. Town Clerk Sheila Bailey.
Good evening. If all members could please stand and raise your right hands. Jean Ackery, Gerald Calnan, Janet Cushman, Joshua Hamry, Amanda Pickett, Jonathan LeBlanc, Tina M. LeBlanc, Scott P. Ryder, and John Ungeier. Do you all solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm that you will faithfully discharge according to law your duties as members of the Enfield Board of Education to the best of your ability, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury? Congratulations, everyone.
Kathy, could we have roll call, please?
Mrs. Acree,
Here.
Dr. Kalman,
Here.
Mrs. Cushman,
Here.
Mr. Hamry,
Here.
Mr. LeBlanc,
Here.
Mrs. Pickett,
Present.
Mr. Ryder,
Here.
Mr. Ungeier,
Here.
Mrs. LeBlanc.
Here.
Thank you, Kathy. And at this time, I'd like to open the floor for nominations for chairperson of the Board of Education.
I have a nomination.
And
May I proceed?
yeah, yes, please proceed. Sorry, Scott.
Hopefully our seats didn't give it away. Anyone who's been involved in Enfield's public schools, our students and families, our teachers, our building staff, our bus drivers and more, benefited from the voice of Tina LeBlanc in one way or another for more than a decade. Her time commitment just as a board member, 10 years, is rarefied air. She has been the consummate volunteer in more recent years at Enfield High School through her work with Safegrad and the Gridiron Club and more, all the way back to her children's days at Stowe when she was a PTO mom, which pleases me to say as a PTO dad, who also made it up here. While serving on the board, I have had the personal and absolute pleasure to have served all of my years so far with Tina sitting nearby, calling me the next day, listening to me, my ideas, always including me, always including our entire team. And along the way, she became a friend that I wouldn't trade for anyone. This is not the first time I've nominated Tina for something this year, and that's because her heart is forever and always youth-focused. Youth in education, youth in sports, youth in the arts. Through her service, Tina has helped all of Enfield, especially our public schools. We all owe her a debt of gratitude on behalf of our students. Claire Hunt, Karen Owens, Ann Maloney, and Sharon Racine. It is my pleasure this evening to nominate Tina LeBlanc to be our next and our fifth female to serve as the Enfield Public Schools Board of Education Chair. That is my nomination.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Are there any other nominations for chairman? Then I'm going to ask for a motion to close nominations.
Second that.
Okay. And we have a hand vote.
All in
Okay.
favor?
All in favor? Okay, that's nine. Nine in favor.
You need a roll call vote.
I was going to say.
I know, at least.
All right. So, yeah, we do need a roll call vote. So can we have a roll call vote, please?
We need a chair.
Mrs. Acree,
Yes.
Dr. Calnan,
Yes.
Mrs. Cushman,
Yes.
Mr. Hamry,
Absolutely.
Mr. LeBlanc,
Yes.
Mrs. Pickett,
Yes.
Mr. Ryder,
Tina LeBlanc.
Mr. Ungary,
Yes.
Mrs. LeBlanc.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Yay.
Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I'd like to open the floor for nominations for vice chair. And I actually have that nomination for the vice chair. So I would like to nominate Scott Ryder for the position of vice chair. I've had the opportunity to work with Scott the past 4 years on the Board of Education. Scott's selflessness when it comes to volunteering for Enfield Public Schools is unmatched. Scott has been a mainstay as a board member, parent volunteer, a mentor, and the EPS PTO coordinator. Scott's determination to advocate for all the students in Enfield is demonstrated not just through his work on the policy committee, through the amount of heart and willingness he brings to the Board of Education. One of Scott's greatest attributes he brings to the vice chair role is his positivity towards Enfield Public Schools, his leadership, and his love of our school community. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. LeBlanc. Any other nominations? Okay, we'll take a vote to see if we can close nominations by a show of hands. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Acree?
Yes.
Dr. Kalman?
Yes.
Mrs. Cushman?
Yes.
Mr. Hamry?
Yes, please.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes.
Mrs. Pickett?
Yes.
Mr. Ryder?
Yes.
Mr. Ungary?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, I'd like to open up the floor for the secretary nominations.
I'd like to nominate Jonathan LeBlanc for secretary.
Do I have, seconded by Mr. Ungary? Nominated by, or seconded by Mr. Ryder, nominated by Mr. Ungary? Any other nominations? Motion to close nominations by a show of hands? Roll call, Kathy?
Mrs. Acree?
Yes.
Dr. Kalman?
Yes.
Mrs. Cushman?
Yes.
Mr. Hamry?
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes.
Mrs. Pickett?
Yes.
Mr. Ryder?
Jonathan LeBlanc.
Mr. Ungary?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So next on our agenda is the Service Recognition Awards to our outgoing board members. I believe Stacy Thurston is here, and she received her award already, but I would like for her to stand up. There she is. Stacy, we thank you for your service to the schools and the school community for the many years that you've served on the Board of Ed, and even coming back and helping us serve. We appreciate everything you've done for us, so thank you. Next, we have Mr. Cruzel. Mr. Cruzel, could you come up here? We have some parting gifts for you. I want to come around. I think I said everything at the last meeting, but what you don't know about Walter is, oops, sorry. The microphone's right. I said a lot about. That's right. I said a lot about Walter at the last meeting, and what people don't know about Walter is all the extra stuff he's done for our school district, whether it was refinishing weights or doing little projects for the Stowe Early Learning Center. Walter, we're going to miss you. I think we worked together 6 years, and I'm going to miss you. And congratulations, and thank you for your length of service. I think people didn't realize how much extra you did. And I know you're going to be watching, and you're going to keep being involved. So I appreciate it.
Try my best.
We have another gift for you.
Don't normally get a speaking role tonight, but before we let you go, there's another person we have to thank, and that's your wife, Debbie,
Yes.
for keeping Walter on loan. For loaning him to us for the last 6 years, but particularly the last 4 years. And the good news is you don't hear from me in the middle of the night anymore or crazy hours in the morning. And Mr. LeBlanc, I'm going to apologize in advance. But as Ms. LeBlanc stated, there's a lot of things that you don't see when you just tune in TV every 2 weeks to see the chairman do the job. And one of the things I know that Mr. Cruzel wanted to accomplish in his time frame as board chair that we fell a little short on, but I know it's caused him an enormous amount of stress in his life, was the stoplight at Enfield High School. So at his we weren't going to let you leave without getting a stoplight. frustrations of not having a light with an actual stress toy. So thank you again, Walter. But on behalf of, I know the three of us that sit over here, you've been an absolute friend to us, and you still will be. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is comments from the newly elected chairperson. So I prepared a few things to say. Tonight, I am both humbled and honored to be chosen as the board chair. I am completely overwhelmed by the support of the voters in Enfield. I am looking forward to the start of a new term. What I hope to see this term from this board is the start of unity, where every board member understands their role and where each of you feel valued and heard. Although there will be disagreements and tough conversations, we will keep reminding ourselves that we are here for the students of Enfield. I have spent the better part of 17 years, as I said a couple weeks ago, with my kids attending Enfield Public Schools. And with that, I did establish an emotional connection. And it becomes a balance as you establish connections as both a parent and a board member with parents, staff, and the community. I can't tell you how beneficial that has been to me as a board member. When your kids attend Enfield Public Schools, you have a deeper understanding of what Enfield schools mean to the families and students in Enfield. I believe when you are involved in the community, you appreciate and celebrate the diverse community we live in and the students who attend our schools. I will continue to do this. What we endured this past 2 years was unprecedented. And what I learned is life is short. We don't know how long we will be here. We have to listen more, love a little harder. It's been an honor to come into my voice and represent and advocate for all of our students in Enfield. It will continue to be an honor to represent all the wonderful students and amazing staff that makes up Enfield Public Schools. And I look forward to working with all of you and doing wonderful things for the next 2 years. And that's my promise to you, that we all feel valued and heard. And I'm going to end with this quote, and it's my favorite quote about children, and we can all agree. While we try to teach our children all about life, our children teach us what life is all about. Angela Schwitt. Thank you. Comments, if any, from the newly elected board members? Ms. Acree, would you like to start?
Good evening, everyone. I would like to give out thank yous right now. I would like to thank God first for placing me in this esteemed position on this board. I would like to thank my family who loves and supports me throughout this process. My campaign leadership team, I'd like to thank Marianne, Jason, and Bill for all their guidance and knowledge through this campaign process. I'd like to thank my mentors, I call them, Lori, John, and Marie, for all your help, in the last few months. And I would also like to thank the voters of Enfield who have the confidence in me that I can do this job. It is an honor and privilege for me to serve on this board and be an education advocate for the students and families in Enfield. I look forward to working with all of my board members, and I hope we will be able to work out resolutions for all the issues that concern our community. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Acree. Ms. Ungeyer, would you like to go? Ms. Cushman, would you like to go?
Sure. I would like to just start by express my gratitude in being able to continue to serve our schools, our community on this Board of Education. I'm just very appreciative of the opportunity. And just, I wanted to also express my gratitude to Stacy and to Walter, who from day one have just been a great source of encouragement and support. I just appreciate hearing from you frequently, and I'm very appreciative. So thank you. Emily, what an amazing way to start our meetings. Thank you. I wish that it could be like that every time, but thank you for sharing your gift and your talent with your voice with us tonight. Oh, it's beautiful. And I do look forward to this next term. I look forward to our opportunity to serve together. Tina, you bring a lot of experience and knowledge to this board, and I just look forward to serving together and to what we can do to support our schools, our community, our families, our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cushman. Mr. Ungary?
Excuse me. I just like to say thank you to my family, to my wife, Lori, who supported me throughout this whole process. I had the opportunity to walk around town and meet many, many people, and I appreciate all the new resident friends that I've made over the course of this campaign season, and all the people who helped. Just very much appreciate that. I look forward to serving on this board and working with everyone here on this board so that we can serve the students of Enfield, the staff, the administration. And with that, I'd just like to finish by saying, God bless the students of Enfield, the staff, the administration, and all of the teachers especially. So I'm very thankful to be here. I pledge and promise to do my best to keep the best interest of our kids as my primary focus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ungary. Mr. LeBlanc?
Good evening, everybody. I want to start out by thanking my family, Mom, Dad, Uncle Steve, Colin, Regina, my sister Danny, and then two very important people who aren't here tonight, but I know they're in their chairs right now and watching on TV, and that'd be my Grammy and Grampy, who have always supported me and have been with me through everything, and your love means everything to me. Secondly, I'd like to, as much as I may be a staunch Republican, one of my goals here at the Board of Education was to always try to leave politics at the door and always come in and be true to myself and true to what I thought was best for everybody in town, our students, our teachers, our staff, and our families. And even those residents who may not be involved in the school systems, because they still have a voice too. And I hope I upheld that for the last 2 years, and I look forward to doing it in the next 2 years. And I just want us to be able to see each other through the stories of each other. And I think that will be a very good thing for this entire board if we can all do that. And I'm excited at the opportunity of what's to come with this board. And with that being said, I will be missing you, Mr. Superintendent, over there, but I do like the new seat too, so. So, with that being said, thank you, everybody, and to the town of Enfield, and I look forward to the next 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. LeBlanc. Mr. Hamry?
Thank you, Chairwoman. So being up here is a process that didn't happen overnight. Started off by showing up at these meetings and sitting at that table and speaking my concerns to the board at the time and learning the process, learning how to get from point A to point B and how to communicate and be effective in those communications. it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have the support of my family. So I want to acknowledge them, that they've been very, very strong in their support of me, and I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for them, and if there wasn't the need to do that. So just like Tina and Scott, Amanda, that were PTO parents and involved in the schools, I started off doing the same thing, PTO president, right out of the gate, and it's been involved ever since in various degrees and in various capacities as we worked our way through their education. That has not lessened at all. It's been more of a focus in the years as they go on, as a matter of fact, to make sure that their education and their progress and their potentials are being realized. So I do want to, again, not to take up too much time, but thank my family, thank my parents, and just like John's grandparents, I hope my mom and dad are watching. So if they are, hi. I want to thank the people that put their faith in me in the process of getting to this point, and it was something that I learned a lot about. I look forward to doing everything that we can to support our students across the board as a board, and working with the entirety of the board to make that all possible. So thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Hamry. Dr. Calnan?
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure for me to have worked and lived most of my life here in Enfield. I'm proud of this community, and I'm proud to be a member of it. I retired from my pediatric practice in 2013, and at that time, I thought that I would truly be entering retirement, and I guess that didn't turn out to be the case. But I found that now I have an opportunity to serve the families and the children of Enfield in a different capacity, and that is as a member of this Board of Education. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because health and education are so integrally connected. A rich education fosters good health, and good health fosters a rich education. And so I think that's a principle that I want to keep in mind as I serve these next 2 years. And I just wanted to end by thanking my wife, Joanne. I thank her for her counsel and her good judgment and her wisdom, and most of all, her patience. I love you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Calnan. Ms. Pickett?
All right. So I am so ready for this term. But first, I have some very special thank yous. I want to start by honoring the land that we're on, the land of the Podunks, and what we now call Enfield. November is Native American History Month, and I'm thankful for the ancestors that have come before us. My husband, you're the reason that this is all possible. You not only hold everything down at home, you're my biggest fan, my listener, the one who pushes me sometimes to see things from another perspective. I'm so blessed to have you. Thank you. Cam and Tess, you're going to change the world someday. Keep being you, ask questions, share your story, listen to others, try your best, and I love you guys. To my family and friends, you've all chipped in, donated, attended events, sent texts, prayed with me, liked and commented on posts. I've always felt your love and encouragement. Enfield Public School staff, all of you, take a deep breath. Thank you for showing up for our students. I can't even imagine the fatigue some of you have in this moment, but what I do know is that you are making a difference every day. I hear the stories from others, and I know myself that even in the changes, restrictions, and challenges, you have made a difference and continue to do so. We have work to do, but I cannot wait to do this alongside of you. Families and students, thank you. Your voice, your perspective, your feedback, and engagement is what matters. Keep it coming. To my fellow Board of Ed members, we need to remember why we're here. To fulfill the mission of the board, we have a duty to do, and if we work together, I believe anything's possible. Now, I never thought that I would run for an elected position, but I knew that if I did, I'd have to be true to myself. This meant that I would not join a ticket unless I believed in the entire slate. To my fellow running mates, Board of Ed, Town Council, constables. Each of us, with our own unique ideas and experiences, come to the table wanting to do our best to represent the many perspectives our community holds. We want to understand the needs of our residents and prioritize, partner, and support Enfield in being an inclusive, welcoming, and safe place for all. Thank you for pushing me, supporting me, and keeping me in line. And to the voters of Enfield, thank you for showing up and letting your voices be heard. I'm going to do my best to represent you, listen to you, and center my decisions on the needs of our community. I look forward to this term ahead, and I truly believe that good things are happening in Enfield.
Thank you, Ms. Pickett. Mr. Ryder?
First, I want to thank my wife, Bridget, who's here with the kids. Thank Lauren and Elliot, my parents as well. My sister, Tina, and her son, Ryder, who spent the week with us during election week, which was fun, juggling everything that we all did on Tuesday, and a 4.5-year-old nephew at home. So if you're watching Ryder, you can go to bed now, give mom a break. But I just wanted to thank specifically our Enfield teachers and staff and our administrators, everybody that works or has a hand in Enfield Public Schools, including our bus drivers, our paras, our lunch aides, our tutors. Everybody has a hand in how my kids and your kids experience their day. Every adult in that building helps shape each day that our kids are there. And I want to thank the Stowe Eaglets, the Hazardville Huskies, the Whitney Wolves, the Enfield Street Bees, the Parkman Panthers, the Barnard Big Cats, the Crandall Cougars, the JFK Patriots, the EHS Eagles, Alcorn, and Eagle Academy. And I want to thank all the kids from Youth Vote that went to the polls with mom and dad and figured out how all this works. I want to thank all of our students at all of those schools and more, because that is why I am here. And that's why I've continued to show up every day in one building or another since November of 2013. And I look forward to continue to doing that both here and inside our schools. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryder. I just have to add, so I've been up here for quite a while, but this is my first meeting taking over, and my nerves got the best of me. So I missed thanking my family, who has been amazing and has put up with so much over the last 10 years. But most of all, these last 2 years, and now believing in me and talking to me and getting more involved, as you were so little when this started and now you're young adults. You've definitely taken an active role in what's going on in our community, and I couldn't be more proud. And as Jonathan said, after a rough board meeting, a nice call from Grammy and Grampy can make it all better, because they're always watching and they're always proud of us. So I just wanted to end with that. So, to our newly elected board, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Hamry and seconded by Mr. Ryder.
That's for Stacy.
Meeting, show of hands. 9 in favor. Thank you.